like I said, there's going to be persecutions. Now, we're already seeing this with big tech. They did it to Trump, and they're basically going down the list from him, and they're kicking a lot of these people off of the big platforms. They're getting locked out. There's even talk that, banks are shutting down and not allowing Trump to do banking and what have you. That should scare the shit out of a lot of people there, because once they could do it to him and people of up at that latitude, they could just go right down the list. And next thing you know, you have nowhere to cash your checks, no one's taking your money, and you're living in the street. Alright, everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. Alright, now if you guys have been following a lot of our live streams that we've been doing, we're talking about the craziness that took place during the massive ice cream social that had after hours serving of alcohol, which resulted in the installment of the next stunning and brave president and vice president. Now, there was a whole lot of lawsuits thrown around, and a lot of said judges turned their backs on these lawsuits, and there's a couple of these were brought up by Texas against other states in the union for not following their state constitutions and the federal constitution. And the Supreme Court of the land stated Texas had no standing. Now, with that being said, you would figure if one state has a problem with another state, that if they filed a lawsuit that in our union they would have standing. Now, this is going to come back to bite the country in the ass. And I don't know exactly how this is going to unfold. I have seen pieces of this, and I have, I've talked about this in my past zombie apocalypse episodes. You can see those on Alt Tech. We pulled them off of YouTube because they were glorifying violence. I don't have the full picture. I just have snapshots. And I'm going to walk you through what I have so far. And it might seem a little disjointed. I can't paint the whole picture because I don't have all the information. I can only give you portions of it. Maybe somebody out there can fill in the rest. I don't know. Buy How Not to Become a Millennial and learn how to succeed in life. Or not. End of commercial.
How Not to Become a Millennial is the perfect gift to pour salt in the regret-filled wounds of Biden voters, because unemployment gives them plenty of time to catch up on all the reading they should have done before voting Democrat. A link is in the description.
All right, so what we have going on now, and it's been going on for roughly 20 years, is the slow division between the left and the right within the United States. All right. Now, all we have left now is a little bit in the middle that need to pick a side, and that is going to happen in the near future with what the new president is going to do economically for this nation. He's already started off on a bad foot. He's shutting down all of the stuff that Trump had put in place that gave us the economy we had before the false EIU scares out there, and that's the coup for the Hong Kong sniffles or whatever you want to call it, because the truth is out there, and all you have to do is open your eyes in regards to that. if this was so dangerous and deadly, the homeless population out there would no longer exist. But they're virtually unaffected. I've already done a whole bunch of episodes where I talked about that, but that plays in here. Okay, now, like I said in my live stream, if you have individuals in your life who are of the liberal mindset, they're basically no longer classic liberals. They're socialists/communists. And for your own peace of mind, you need to cut them away, or at least keep them at a comfortable arm's distance. And it doesn't matter if they're within your immediate family or even if you're married to one of them. That's just the way it is. Because the conflict that lies before us is going to be incredibly vicious, brutal, and personal. Now, I hope it doesn't happen. I'm just telling you what I see. A lot of you out there are probably, Popp, you crazy, what you talking about? Yeah. Listen, I've studied history. 100% of all governments that have ever existed have gone off the rail if given enough time. And we are there. Unless somebody does some changes up there, this train is going to go off the tracks in the next turn. We've got too much speed. There's too much instability. The next bank in the tracks, and we're off in the woods, and it's going to be ugly. So we have the division going on. All right, now you have big tech piling on top of this division. You have cries going out for the Trump supporters to be put in camps and there to be retribution for what they did, even though they didn't really do anything to anyone. Nobody was killed. Nobody was put in camps. In fact, people were employed at record numbers. And if you look back prior to Nazi Germany coming into power and Stalin, a lot of the same rhetoric was being tossed around. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Like I said, there's going to be persecutions. Now, we're already seeing this with big tech. They did it to Trump, and they're basically going down the list from him, and they're kicking a lot of these people off of the big platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, so forth. They're getting locked out. There's even talk that banks are shutting down and not allowing Trump to do banking and what have you. That should scare the shit out of a lot of people there, because once they could do it to him and people up at that latitude, they could just go right down the list. And next thing you know, you have nowhere to cash your checks, no one's taking your money, and you're living in the street. Okay, and where did that happen before? Oh, that's right. They did that to the Jewish population just as things were ramping up before World War II in Germany. So we have this persecution in the media. You're going to see law enforcement start cracking down on these individuals as well. Banking, etc., you name it. And it's going to be effective for a while. Okay, it's just a matter of time before the right does their own thing. Right now they're handicapped and they're behind the power curve, but you will see that start to develop. It's already taken place. So I don't know exactly what that is going to entail. My sources haven't given me any information other than the fact that there are competitors for YouTube coming. They're coming into play. And there are companies out there that they are starting to offer cell phones and products which are de-Googled and de-Appled, which I highly recommend that everyone out there do. You're going to see economic policies. They're going to implement this Green New Deal thing, and it's going to radically cripple the country. This is bad in the beginning, and I'm going to explain to you why. These policies are designed to basically the downfall of the middle class, impoverish most people, and seize the methods of production. And they're going to hide all of this behind the message. They're doing it, all for the good. It's for the best. Everyone, this is going to help everyone. They always do this. It didn't work in Venezuela, and it's not going to work here. And when this happens, when this really gets into full swing, and people are losing, all of the money that they've ever saved, and they're getting property seized, and a lot of people are like, that's not going to happen here, Pop. That's and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. But my gut is telling me something else here. You're going to see. This is going to ramp up over the next 18 months. You're going to see big tech actually partnering with law enforcement and the alphabet agencies, and this tracking is going to go through the goddamn roof. Cell phone, computers, the whole deal. Literally, it's going to get to the point where you have a cell phone number, they plug it in, they're going to know your MAC address, they're going to be able to see where you walked around in your city and where you drove at any given moment, 24/7, 365. This is exactly what we have going on here. That's why it's imperative to de-Apple and de-Google. All right, now, this is all going to crescendo to a breaking point here. I don't know what this breaking point is. I don't know. I thought maybe we'd have a breaking point when we saw the stunning and brave thing that took place in November basically looked like something that takes place in a banana republic. This is the United fucking States of America, which is now basically well on its way into becoming a banana republic. All right, so I don't know what the breaking point is, what it's going to take for there to be, any type of organized resistance to this craziness. Let's move over to the other board here. All right, now I'm sorry if I'm rambling on here, but a lot of this is just, I'm just trying to put together the pieces out there, and I don't have the full picture. So, you guys think, oh, Pop, you know what you're talking about? Yeah, listen, I got it. Just hear me out here. All right, now once you get to this breaking point, you're going to see states withdraw from the Union. I personally think, in my opinion, the first state is going to pull out is going to be Texas. Once that happens, you're going to have hyper division going on. Now, during the first Civil War of the United States, in the very beginning, when the states seceded, people from all over the country and people who were in the military, whatever, they left. They went back to their home states, and then shortly thereafter, organized, things ensued. I don't know what this is going to look like. I really don't. I know that the violence, if it does take place, which I hope it doesn't, there'll be direct and indirect, craziness going on. And it will involve the world directly and indirectly and in all shapes and forms, because the United States touches every nation on the planet. We give huge sums of money for reasons I don't even know why to virtually every country on the planet. And when this gets to this point, that's all going to stop. And all of those countries that were, enjoying, the sweet nectar from our taxpayers, which we don't have any say in, that's going to come to an end. And indirectly, a lot of countries are going to suffer. And quite frankly, I don't give a fuck. I think you're going to have Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Mississippi are going to be the first ones. And then as time progresses and things get really crazy, somewhere in this equation, the numbers 36 and 38 come into play. I don't know exactly what those numbers mean, but they keep popping up in my brain pan. So I don't know if it's 36 or 38 states. I don't know if it's battle. I don't know what it is. I just know that these numbers come into play here in the craziness that lays before us. Now, when this does take place, which I hope it doesn't, you're going to see all kinds of craziness come to pass. You're going to see unconventional warfare, and it's going to be something the world has never seen. Okay, they're going to rewrite the books about war based on what's going to happen, and it'll influence wars for hundreds of years, because this is going to get really bad in a monumental way. All right, you're going to start off with, as you have, the states withdrawal and you have the division going on, you're going to start to have, small conflicts, unconventional warfare in regards teams and squads and platoons and even companies doing their own thing. And that's, 3, 6, 9, 13, 30, 120 man groups doing their thing. You're going to have a lot of people making decisions on who to support and who not to support, who's going to try to remain neutral, who's not. Okay, and you're going to have sabotage going on. I've covered all of this already in some of my past videos. Basically what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of these major cities decide they're going to go one way and do something, and you're going to see the smaller villages and towns and other cities and other counties say, you know what, we're not doing that. And it's going to be a lava lamp of destruction as the picture develops. I can't even convey exactly what that picture is going to look like, other than when it gets up to maximum, it's going to be bad. It's going to actually involve direct warfare, organized units, and so forth. Going at each other willy-nilly. You're going to have other countries getting involved. The UN's probably going to show up. At the very end of the whole thing, when 36 and 38, when these numbers come into play, you're going to see the United States come out the back end. And what that country looks like, I don't know, other than when it's all said and done, there's going to be a huge backlash that may or may not, develop into an actual third world war. All right, because there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of people pissed off at what took place inside the borders of the United States of America. And a lot of people who are going to wind up in charge are going to ask some very, very important questions. And then when they're done asking questions, they're going to start flipping buttons, picking up the phone, making phone calls. And you're going to see a lot of people in other countries disappear off the face of the earth. This is serious business. This is what's coming down the pipe. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I can just write about this and turn it into some crazy goddamn novel that everyone reads about and goes, well, I'm glad that never happened. But I think we're in for a bumpy ride. You guys take it easy.